Good evening. We'll be starting shortly.
Good evening. Okay.
Hello, I'm Mia. So dark in here. Oh well, whatever. It's all good. How you been?
I'm good. I can't complain. How have you been? How was your summer?
Intense. It's just
Oh,
intense. I started a new job over the summer, and so it's just been very busy.
oh, okay. Nice. Congrats.
Thanks. Yeah, I guess. But summer's always nice. It feels very much like fall today. Our heat just turned on in the building. I'm like the board president, so like everyone's like texting me, their steam is going out there, and so I'm like freaking out. Well, not there, I'm not freaking out, they're freaking out.
Right.
How was your summer?
Oh gosh. I feel like it flew by.
Yeah, yeah. Time is strange right now. Do you do anything particularly great?
No, you know what? I got away from my birthday really quickly, but I wish I would have taken more time, like and traveled a bit more. Let's go, go check out family and just hang back.
Where did you go?
Went down to Miami.
Oh, Miami. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, how long?
Just for like a week.
That's a pretty good chunk of time though. Happy birthday, belated.
Thank you.
Got a small showing here for our first meeting. It's usually
I know. I just approved your app request. Goodbye. I'm in a meeting. I'm unmuted. Thanks. That's Madison for everybody. I'm unmuted. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Thanks. Bye. Yes.
Is that your daughter or son?
Yes.
Daughter. Yeah.
It's flying out of the room trying to get a app approved because she hears me speaking now.
Got it. That's cute. I hope I get to meet her one day.
Yeah, she likes to come to the office for some reason.
So I never met her at the office. And also, hello, Joyce. It's nice to meet you.
Hi, good evening, Joyce. How are you?
Good evening. I'm pretty good. And you guys? This is
Good.
my first time, so I'm here to listen and see what all the magic is about to go down.
Yeah, I'm shocked that nobody else is here, but we will at least get to know each other. This is a strange cadence for us. We're usually on first Mondays. So there you go.
Yeah, that might be throwing off the schedule as well, the attendance.
I think it is. I'm going to shoot a quick email to everybody that was on your
Yeah.
invite. We'll see if we get them. But Joyce, I will certainly tell you all about our work, and I would love to get to know you a little bit better.
Christmas Watson board coming in.
Okay, Linda. Let me see.
1 second.
Moment for me to
Good evening, Mrs. Watson Lord. How are you?
Hi, Mia. I'm good. Hi, Primo. Hi, everybody.
Hi, good to see you. Good to have you with us. Good to get
You
things
too.
back off the ground.
Yeah. How are you doing?
Doing well, yeah. Nice little Monday night here.
I saw you, Mia. I saw you the other day. You were going with your daughter up the street.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Where?
I love it. You went up. I think it was at the Montgomery or one of those streets.
Yeah, we were probably walking home.
Right.
He goes to St. Francis.
Oh, cool.
Oh, Talicia's here.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, good evening.
All right, we'll get started in 2 minutes. You know, we're a growing but small group here. So we'll just get started in a moment. I just sent a reminder email to folks. I know we're on a strange cadence since we're usually early in the month on Mondays. My dog is freaking out. He wants attention. Just got his dinner and he's definitely wanting attention.
We used to be on Tuesday night, Primo.
Sorry, was that?
I thought we used to be a Tuesday night. I don't know if you were.
Yeah, we might have been on Tuesdays. Maybe that's part of the problem too. You might be right, Linda.
Yeah, we gotta get
Yes,
you guys back on first Tuesdays for next month.
We're gonna get back on first Tuesdays for next month. I think that's
Oh, good.
way off.
All right.
But why don't we get started? So we can be respectful of everybody's time. Our agenda for tonight is really kind of just hoping to get to know each other, just do introductions and welcome. We'll talk a little bit about the coming year. We can talk about suggestions. I know that last year was a successful year, I would say. But I think that we can do even better this year, right? Kids are back in schools. The world has opened up a little bit. It's quite different. And I think that we have an even greater level of opportunity for success this year. So I'm really excited to work with everybody. Really grateful for you being here tonight. But I'd love to start off with introductions. And so I know that we have a few new faces, a few new voices. We have a few returners amongst us tonight. And so in terms of introductions, I'll leave it open. I'll leave it a little bit free and give it a little bit of structure. So certainly your name, kind of like a little bit about your time in the neighborhood, and then what brings you to the Youth Services Committee. And you feel free to say whatever you want to about your background. I'll model. I'll do I do, we do, you do. So I'll kick things off. My name is Primo Lasana. I have been on the community board for, I guess this is my second proper year, but it's my third year on the community board. My first year was on the Youth Services Committee. I live over by the Botanic Gardens, Crown Street between Washington and Franklin. I've been in this building for about 8 years. I was born and raised in New York. I've been in Crown Heights for about 15 years. Outside of where I live, I am the executive director of an organization called Reading Partners NYC. I worked for a long time for a high school to college access program called iMentor. And yeah, you know, grew up in Lower Manhattan. I did national service after college with an organization called City Year. That was my introduction to working in public schools. I did that in Chicago and then came back to New York. What else? I just did my master's at NYU, but you know, thrilled to be here, excited to work with you all. This is a wonderful group of folks today, and it was a wonderful group of folks last year. I will pass it over to Joyce, who also has a dog. Joyce, welcome.
Thank you. Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Joyce. I am currently living in Prospect Lefferts Gardens for the last 3 years. And I work with at an organization for the last 12 years called the Food Bank for New York City. So we are pretty popular within the 5 boroughs. We work with alleviating hunger when it comes to youth, young adults, and seniors. We teach nutrition education, financial education, and things of that sort. I grew up on Staten Island, and yeah, well, what else should I say? My other experience working with youth was growing up. I was a part of this awesome club called Global Kids, and I was able to travel to like South America, Trinidad, Europe, and things like that, just working with different youth in high school. So that was like my first experience just working along with the community. And what brings me here is, and I'm like, hey, I'm in this community, why not get involved and see what difference can I make to get to know more about the community, see what else is going on. So that's why I'm here. I just want to make a difference.
That's awesome. Welcome. Food Bank is an amazing organization. And we're lucky to have you. And I guess, how long have you been in Lefferts Gardens?
3 years.
Oh, great. So you're familiar, certainly. I love your plant in the background.
Oh, thank you. That's my bird of paradise. It's like my jam.
I had them, but I wasn't able to keep them alive, sadly. Joyce, do you want to pass it to somebody else?
Sure, I'll pass it to, please correct me if I'm saying your name wrong, Talisa?
All right, Talicia, yes, thank you.
Perfect.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Talicia. I was born and raised in the old Crown Heights that is now called Prospect Lefferts Gardens. And I moved away for a little bit, and then I came back in my adult years. I am on the cusp, actually, right? That's something that I actually just emailed Primo about today. I'm right on Empire between New York and Brooklyn Avenue. I actually grew up on Empire between Notion and Rogers, so just right up the block from where I am now. My experience with youth has been pretty extensive. In high school, I did a tutoring service with Brooklyn Bureau of Community Services, where we worked with students special needs, coming from impoverished communities and so forth, and just giving them extra support with their schoolwork. And from there, I went on to study vocal performance in undergrad, but then I went on to get my master's in education at Brooklyn College through the New York City Teaching Fellows Program. I've been teaching, I think this is my 14th year of teaching high school students, going strong, counting down the years to retirement. But I'm always looking for ways to, engage with youth. Something that I've done in the past is I started a mentorship program for young ladies. And, things didn't quite turn out the way that I wanted to be due to, lack of funding and support. But the relationship that I was able to build with those young ladies has carried over to now. So many of them are educators themselves or working within their communities. And how I got to be a part of CB9 is actually Matthijs, who is a part of the committee as well. We both went to the same meetings as the SPED coordinators or special education coordinators for our school. And we connected and found out that we lived in the same neighborhood. He told me about the community board. He's like, you should definitely come. So I've been attending meetings, I wanna say, for maybe five years, maybe a little bit over 5 years. So it's been really nice to see the committee grow and to see what we've been able to accomplish. I will pass it on to Linda.
Hi, everybody. I'm Linda. I've been in Crown Heights for over 25 years. I'm from Barbados. I work for my consulate, but most of all, I love being with the youth. At my church, we've started about 2 years now. Organization for kids who is going off to college, you call it the Young Adult Ministry, because we found out everybody was always interested in giving kids who were now going off to college support, and those who were in college 2-3 years didn't have any support. And so I decided, no, that's not right. We've got to help them. So my concentration now is making sure that those kids in their second, third, and fourth year, is still seen as people in need. If you've been in college and you live away from home, you don't have money to buy food in those years. And so that's why I'm concentrating on the youth lead, as I said. My church is St. Gabriel's down the street. And so I'm always looking for people to speak to my kids. So Joyce, who just said something interesting, so we'll be talking. And this is my second year working with Puma on this committee. We did good last year, so we will expect to do good this year. So now it's Pierre.
Hi, so my name is Pierre Albert. I'm visiting this committee meeting, so thank you for allowing me to crash. So a little bit about me. I was born and raised in Crown Heights, but not in this area. Sterling Place between Rochester and Buffalo. And then I moved here a couple years ago. And so I've always been involved in politics and government. So I now work at the Governor's Office of Storm Recovery, but prior I worked for Assemblyman Kareem Kamara in the 43rd, who was there before Diana Richardson, and I work for Adam. So even though I haven't been living in the community, I'm very familiar with it, very invested in it. I've seen how it's changed. I've seen its growth. And I'm just very interested in just trying to see how I could help the community in any shape, any form, how I can help the youth. I'm also the young adult ministry coordinator at my church, New Life Tabernacle, on Utica and Avenue D. And aside from spiritual matters, we're often doing financial workshops, couples panel, just helping them to grow and develop just holistically. I used to be on the Community Board 8 Youth and Education Committee, where we brainstormed and we had a lot of great ideas. We weren't able to implement it, but we were thinking about doing a fair and some other projects. So I'm just excited to be in part of this meeting. Excited to listen in and see how I could assist in any shape or any form. So thank you for having me.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us. What a superstar crew we have. I'm like listening to your intros and thinking about all the different ways that we're going to be able to bring your special talents and experiences into the Youth Services Committee this year. So really grateful to have you on board. I was thinking that it might also be helpful for us. Oh, Mia, come on, Mia, introduce yourself.
Sorry, guys. Good evening. My name is Mia Hilton. I'm the Assistant District Manager at CB9, resident of the community for over 20 years. I'm very civically engaged, interested in uplifting our community, especially the youth, and making sure everyone goes along for this ride with the increase of resources and, offerings here in the community. And just here to support you guys with anything that you need administrative-wise from the office.
Awesome.
That's it.
Mia's being humble, but she's the true plug at CB9. We're lucky that she joins our meetings because it can be hard to navigate bureaucracy, but Mia gets everything done for us, supports us, makes it happen, all in service of the youth. And so she is an honorary member of the Youth Services Committee, one of our—
I appreciate you. Thank you.
She's great. She's great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There it is. Okay. So I think that like one of the things that would be good to do is take maybe a look back at the previous year, give both Pierre and Joyce a little bit of a sense of the kind of work that we've done in the past, just to kind of ground you in a little bit of our history, maybe over the past few years. As you know, it's been a funky last 3 years. But Talicia, I feel like you have 5 years of experience on this subcommittee. And so maybe you could share with us a little bit of your experience over the last 5 years, and I can plug in after you're finished.
Sure. So when I joined the committee, there was one event that we carried out annually, which was the Youth Job Expo, Job and Career Expo. And it kind of grew in our first year. It was mainly jobs that we were trying to find for youth. And then in the second year, we figured internships would also be beneficial to them, summer programs, and so forth. Then we kind of shifted into trying to do a little bit more because it was just the one thing that we had. And we figured, maybe we need to tap into the community and see exactly what it is that the kids want. And we had some ideas and some plans around doing a financial literacy workshop on top of the Career and Job Expo. And so we decided to take the leap and do the financial literacy. And it was small but mighty, right? We had a small group of students and parents that attended, but we had some really great people on board and organizations on board to support us and to give some really good information. So that's something that we wanted to continue, but then COVID kind of hit. So we didn't tap back into those resources necessarily. We went a different route. And then last year, something that we did is we tapped into our youth specifically with the youth speak out that we had. And that's where they kind of told us what they're looking for, like the kind of support that they need. I think initially we thought like, okay, they just need jobs, right? Like summer is coming, we want to get them busy. But the kids actually showed us that they want a little bit more. They want to learn more about entrepreneurship and how to own homes, how to save. So in our last year, we were thinking of how we could amplify some of our programs and do a little bit more throughout the year. So yeah, I'll let Primo take over from there.
I mean, yeah, you nailed it. So that's kind of exactly how things went down. You said it better than I could have. And so, last year we heard from our kids early in the year about the things that they wanted to do and tried to be responsive to that. And so we hosted a second event in the year last year that was focused on entrepreneurship and financial planning. And so we had a great group of kids. I think we had probably like 60 kids come to the Youth Speak Out, and then maybe like 30 or 40 kids come to the kind of financial planning, management, and entrepreneurship. And since we had Zoom, we could invite people from all around the community to come and talk. We had a few small business owners come and speak to the kids about how they got started. We had some folks who work in the finance sector come and talk about how important it was to start your 401k early and get an IRA set up, talk to them a little bit about different ways of spending. And then also some folks who came and offered them some jobs and internships, which was cool to see and happened kind of organically. But in the absence of the availability of being in person, we weren't able to do a career expo. And we also had some new members who joined. Sol, I'm thinking of in particular, who also did a food distribution event on Juneteenth, which was really cool to see. And so I think that we are an ambitious group that tries to get a lot done. And I think that's what we tried to do last year, right? Like we wanted to do 3 events throughout the course of the year. I think what we found is that, first of all, we can't operate in the summer, which is frustrating because it's just the way that the community board works. Basically, like committees are assigned through the spring. And so we weren't able to pull up. We wanted to do also a back to school kind of field day and event during the summer, but we ran up against some bureaucracy that was kind of unmovable. And so this year, we have some learnings from the past 2 years around we have some learnings from the last 2 years around, what it looks like to do virtual events. And then we have learnings from the 3 years previous or 4 years previous around the Jobs Expo. And perhaps this is a year where we might be able to bring together all of those different learnings. We meet on a once a month cadence. As you can imagine, that doesn't leave a ton of room for us to plan. And so what we kind of do is like meet twice, execute an event, meet twice, execute an event. And so it's like one meeting that's focused on kind of ideating and planning, and then another event that's, another meeting that's focused on delegating tasks towards execution, and then we pull off the event. And that seems to be a cadence to me that has worked over the course of the last year. We try to be ambitious, but also not demand too much time from people. And then one other thing that I would add to kind of the message around last year is that we tried to get some youth actually on the community board. And so that's something that I'd love to revisit also, but thinking about a youth services committee that actually engages youth and elevates their voices. And so we were able to get some kids in for a few meetings here and there, but I think it's a little bit hard unless you start them off with regularity at the beginning of the year. So that's something to think about a little bit as well. But I'll pause and just see if anybody has any questions, or Linda, if you wanted to add anything too.
I think you were good. Both of you did that one.
Cool. Joyce, Pierre, any questions?
No questions.
No, I mean, thank you for the summary and the breakdowns, very thorough.
Great. Okay, so in thinking about planning for the coming year, we can start to outline that right now. Obviously, we'd love to have more people here, but I think that this is a significant enough group to start doing that. I think that there were two things that I put on the agenda, but I also want to make sure that everyone's voices are able to be included in thinking about this. And so the first one is connecting with community partners. Something that Sol mentioned last year was that we could also see this group as being kind of a backbone organization for a lot of the youth serving organizations that exist largely in the city, but also specifically in this community. And I think that that's something that could really enhance our capacity, particularly our capacity to reach young people. If we were able to bring those groups together a little bit more often, that could potentially even be an event. But it makes a lot of sense to me for Community Board 9 to be better connected to the youth serving communities. And then, kind of bullet B is thinking about prospective events. So anyway, I don't want to talk too much. I want to hear from you all what you think we should be doing with the coming year. Linda, I know you always have good opinions there, so go for it.
No, I know. I was just thinking. I'm not. So this is we did the finance seminar last year, and it seems we just add something on. So I was just thinking, what could we do to this? Mia, would you not be able to have any in-person events this year yet?
So Mia, yeah.
That might help us with.
I don't see why not. I would, I would plan an in-person event. We just had a small wellness fair, but it was held out on Lefferts Avenue by Washington. So it was out in the open. I don't know. Would you be looking to do in-person spring? Something virtual now, or plan for something in person in warmer weather?
In warmer weather, but at least if we know that we can do something, then we could start planning or go idea or look at something.
Yeah, because I know the DO.
You're on mute, Mia.
I know currently the DOE is allowing community partners to use space again in buildings.
Wow, good news. Okay.
But do all attendees have to be vaccinated?
No.
Just wear masks, right?
Because we were approved prior to the governor's stance on the open meeting laws, which put our meetings back on Zoom. We were able to secure a permit for MS61 where we held our meetings pre-COVID, and when we can't enforce vaccination, we can just encourage masking. So that's the thing.
Yeah.
Do you want to plan for in-person, warmer weather, perhaps one of the larger schoolyard spaces? I know that you were interested previously in 161, which has a very large schoolyard and has a very two large entrances on either side of the school building.
Yeah.
It depends on what exactly you want to do in terms of have like or are you looking for something that in like a gymnasium space where you have other community partners show up and kind of table?
Hmm.
I think
Okay.
I think it's good to know that there's the option to do an
Right.
in-person event when we choose to. I think realistically, we're not going to get to our first event until January, probably, you know?
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
I think we could explore that. I think maybe we could do a virtual event in the winter since it's cold, and maybe we can do an in-person event in the spring.
Yeah. So the winter one will have to be an indoor place, which we could still pull off.
Yeah, I mean, winter we could do on Zoom, or we could do it in
Mhm.
we could do it in an indoor space. So those are options. But I think we do have the option of certainly going
Okay.
back to in person at some point this year. We'll just have to require masks, I think. Otherwise, we should be fine.
Definitely.
I know something we spoke about last year, but it was kind of late in the game, was moving the career fair up a little bit more, because I feel like we had it so late in the year where a lot of organizations had already, said we filled all our positions. So maybe considering moving that up to like February.
Moving up to February. I mean, we could do it first, or we could.
Yeah. That's what I was asking. I was thinking about that too, Talisa. That's what I was asking, if we were able to do something like that in person, get them come, colleges, businesses, bring a table and.
Definitely. Even if we inquire with the
Mhm.
armor, which should be open.
Yeah.
Valerie, you're here. If not within the next week or two, you guys are supposed to be open at the Armory, and that's space, community, very large community space.
There's also a million
That's
CBOs.
correct. Hi, good evening.
Valerie, welcome.
Right.
Hi, Valerie.
Welcome. Hey, how you doing?
I love your headshot, Valerie.
Thank you. I was at the Hamptons on that particular day.
Oh,
Nice.
Yes, the Armory is going to be opening. I think we're having the grand opening on the 27th. So if we kind of know what our dates are, I'm on the board over there. And so maybe we can inquire what we're trying to do, how many people, and I guess it would be the open space, the Betty Carter auditorium area. So we would just kind of need dates, what we're trying to do. And I'm sure that we could, I can't guarantee 100%, but I feel that would be a good opportunity for other people to see this wonderful space that we have over there.
Valerie, I got an idea. Would you think that, I don't know if Primo, Valerie is speaking, I'm thinking, could we be like, have like a table to tell the community what we do so that the kids could become involved and stuff like that at the opening? How could we be involved?
I'm not sure. I think that's a planned event already on the 27th. I'm not sure who exactly is going to be there.
Okay.
But I can find out, because I'm not sure if they're having it like open for everyone to come on that particular date. But I do know that they're going to be things opening up. But I can find out and inquire. But I think they already have a set plan for the 27th, which is like next week. Right? It's next week. 27th is next week.
27th is next week. I think it's next Thursday.
Wednesday. Yeah. So I'm not sure if they're going to be allowing anything different to happen. They're just trying to cut that ribbon.
Yeah. I doubt we'll be able to sneak into the agenda for the 27th, which is fair. But maybe we can plan something for late January, and that will give us 3 months to get ourselves together and get out some invites and get some folks in. I mean, How do we feel about doing a late January thing? And if we can pick a few dates now, or maybe get them over to Eric Woodland at the Armory in the next, maybe once he gets past the 27th, he'll have a little bit more space to think about the Youth Services Committee. But if we picked a few dates, Talicia, I feel like you're so plugged into the DOE calendar that you'd have a good sense of when we could actually pull something off. What do you think?
So I know we go on break in February. Let me just double check when that is. So the week of February 21st, we go on break. So really anytime before that is pretty good. There is that Regents Week, February, like January 31st. Actually, no, I'm lying. Sorry. I think it's the 24th to the 28th that is Regents Week. So that might, if we're doing an in-person thing, that actually might not be a bad time to have it like during that Regents Week, because most high school kids will have to pop in like 1 or 2 days that week for an exam, if at all. So I know I've actually heard about a lot of fairs on that Friday. I think another community board does theirs that Friday. So maybe we do like a Thursday, right? Instead, so that we don't bump heads with them. But I think that any time in between January and February break is going to be a good time to do it.
Okay. Throw me a few days that you think we should throw to Eric.
I would say January 21st or 27th. Do we like midweek, or are we aiming for like a Friday?
I'm not mad at midweek personally.
So then I think we could,
pull it off, but what time would we be looking to do this?
that's a good question. I know in the past, I think we started it at maybe 3:30, 4 o'clock. I guess that would, yeah.
I'm sure we could make a 4 o'clock thing work on a weekday, right? After school.
I think so.
Okay.
And
so
that'll get kids to come like straight there instead of going home too. So
we will have to reach out to Eric to find out what they have programmed, because I do know that I don't know if it's going to be November, that they're going to have some kind of art exhibits that are going to be there in that particular room. They're going to have some kind of installations. Also, they have some people having courses there. They're having some, I'm going to call it health and wellness, mental health stuff like yoga and stretching and certain things, and they have different programming. So once we can throw those dates out to him, because I'm not sure what time they start, because I know some of the stuff is in the morning time, and so 4 o'clock might be good because it's a multi-purpose room. So they have a couple of different things going on at this that can go on kind of sorta at the same time, but I do know that they're going to have an installation there, so we can find out if it's just going to be hanging on the wall, or you walk through like you're in a museum and they have these different pictures that depict Brooklyn from a certain time period where the Armory, was in full swing up until a certain point, because I know he and another photographer are going to have some type of installation there. So but it sounds good though.
I'll throw out one more date, a Wednesday, February 2nd.
Okay. Matthias, welcome.
Hey guys, sorry for being so late. I got caught up in daddy duty. Good evening.
It was a literally daddy duty.
Yep.
Welcome. Look at that. Get that. Daddy get the glove.
There you go.
Rewards of daddy duty, Matthias.
It's not a bad thing.
Cool. Well, Matthias, we were just talking about the whatchamacallit, the Jobs Expo, and we were thinking about moving it earlier this year into the late winter so we can actually pull it off.
Sounds good. What time do you guys have in mind?
We threw out a few dates: January 21st, January 27th, and February 2nd. We're thinking about potentially utilizing the what's it called?
Major R. Owens Health and Health and Fitness Community Center.
Valerie,
Oh,
back.
yeah. That's good. Is that open by then?
It opens on the 27th of this month. So the ribbon cutting is soon, and then we could potentially utilize it. I know Eric has been a friend of the community board, so I think if we throw 3 dates at him and he picks one, then we can kind of charge forward. And then Matthias, maybe with your help, we can re-engage some of the members that we haven't been able to really connect with over the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah. Let's see who's on here. Is this okay? I see everybody here. I think that, our friends at Beacon Center have always been great partners, Jawara and Ranik. I know it was Jawara's birthday.
Today?
I think it was over the weekend. I saw it on Facebook. But yeah, definitely we should connect with those guys. And who else am I missing? We could see if Tanj wants to help out. She's always been very helpful.
Awesome.
Even though she's not on the board anymore, but she might chip in.
Yeah, for sure. I should let you both introduce yourselves, Valerie and Matthias. We have some new members of the board here, in Pierre and Joyce, and rather of the subcommittee. So maybe you can say a little bit about yourself, kind of your history on the community board, and your history in the community and on this committee. Matthias, you're up first.
Oh boy. Okay. I have these things in, but they're not even on.
Yeah.
So my name is Matthias. I have been in the community for about 18 years. I moved to Brooklyn in 2003, actually Parkside, to Woodruff. I'm sorry, Woodruff, right, one block up from Parkside. Now I'm on Rutland Road. I've been in Rutland Road for about 12, 13 years. Raising a family here. I've been part of the community board. I think this is like year 5 or something, like 5 or 6. And chaired the community, the youth committee for a few years. Passed the torch to Primo, for him to kind of do bigger and better things with it, which he's not disappointed. What else? Oh, I'm a social worker. A retired teacher, now social worker. I started a social work gig, school social work position this year. Yeah, that's it.
Congratulations on the new gig. Yeah, thank you for setting everything up here so I could hop in and take all the credit. But Matthias has done the real work of getting this thing going. Valerie, please tell us a little. Give us your amazing introduction.
My name is Valerie Fleming. I've been a member of this community for over 50 years. I've served on the Youth Services Committee for, I guess, maybe 4 years. I guess 4 years now, because I don't want to say we lost time during the pandemic, but life was on pause there for a moment. I'm currently serving on the Transportation Committee. I'm a retired bureaucrat. United States Department of Labor, Office of Workers' Compensation. I'm the president of my block association. I help Mega Evers College with the Cougar Food Pantry. I'm on the board of the Major R. Owens Health and Wellness Community Center. And I'm just the average, just busybody, just doing things and being a part of it, because my philosophy, if not me, then who? Because we always talk about what we need to do and what somebody else need to do and how they gonna do it. But if you don't step up because that's what it's all about. You got to step up to the plate, because a lot of people, they talk a good game and they have all these ideas, but you got to put some, some grease in the car. You got to do the work. So I'm here to do the work. And oh yeah, retired. So that's a beautiful thing. I mean, whoever invented this retirement thing, I got to take him or her out to dinner, because this is the best thing since sliced bread. Oh my God. And y'all young folks look like y'all got quite a few years to go, but I'll hold it down until y'all retire, because it is beautiful. And I just love our chair, Primo. He's doing wonderful things. Our ex-chair, he held it down. We had one of the best youth career events. We had over, I think, 600 participants under his watch. So we're doing things here on Community Board 9 in the Youth Services Committee. So I could go on and talk for a while, but I just enjoy everyone, and I welcome the new members, and look forward to a wonderful, wonderful year. And that's the end of my commercial.
I could listen to you talk endlessly. So I appreciate your voiceover, and I am definitely jealous of your retirement status. I'm glad that you're enjoying it. It seems like you deserve it. You know that our generation is having a little bit of a shift of mindset where we're all kind of racing towards retirement. Alicia said in her introduction, she's counting the years. But we're so glad that you're there, and we're so glad that you're here. And so I want to be, yeah, of course. We got a superstar team of folks here. I think we're going to do big things again this year. I know that we're going to have even more folks joining us in future meetings. I want to be respectful of everyone's time, and I want to button up with kind of like a few last ideas. It seems like our next focus is going to be on doing a career Expo. And so we'll do that in late January, early February. I think that during the course of our coming meetings, we can also discuss what a second event may look like. Maybe it'll be good to have that conversation when we have a few more folks join us. But I think if we can just make this our focus over the course of the next month, basically, getting all the logistics and details of this one event locked up, then we can really focus on it at our next meeting. And so I think that is probably a good thing for us to talk about. It's in our agenda, the committee schedule and next steps. And so Valerie and Talicia and Linda, remind me, we were on first Tuesdays or first Mondays last year?
I believe it was
Tuesday.
Okay, everybody is very clear. It was Tuesdays. All right, so then let me take a look at my calendar, and everybody can open theirs too. So next Tuesday is election day. And so we probably shouldn't do a meeting on election day. When I say next Tuesday, I mean the first Tuesday in November, which is November 2nd. I can't do Tuesday the 9th. I feel like our calendar is going to get thrown off here.
Yeah.
Tuesday is the board, right?
Yeah, third
One of those
Tuesdays
Tuesdays is the board.
are the executive committee. Oof.
Here
I'm
comes
also
everybody at
okay.
7:50. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay. I was gonna say I'm also okay with a Monday meet day if we need to stick to that.
Are you good for the first, Primo? Anyone?
Yeah, Mondays might work better for me. Like I could do Monday, November 8th. That's not a bad date for me. Does that work for folks?
Yeah, I think Mondays might be a good thing just to go forward, because Mondays seem to be usually clear on people's schedules. Tuesdays for some reason always get, booked.
Yeah. Can I get a thumbs up if we're cool with Mondays moving forward? All right, we got some thumbs up for Monday. Monday it is. Why don't we do Monday, November 8th to give us a little bit more breathing room this time? So we can let the Major R. Owens Community Center get past their opening before we inundate them with requests. So maybe we do Monday, November 8th. Are y'all cool with doing second Mondays instead of first Mondays, or is that confusing? Just to establish a regular cadence.
That's fine for me.
Okay, second Monday is fine.
Second Mondays it is.
And I don't want to throw a little cog in the wheel, but at the ON Center, you need to be vaccinated and show your vaccine card. A lot. So I'm just throwing that out there.
No, it's good to know, but you know.
Yeah, it is what it is. But I just want to, put it out there.
Yo, I just got my booster shot and that's crazy. On Saturday, they're just out in the streets handing out shots.
Yeah.
It's great.
Wow.
Are they just handing out shots? Is this an official shot?
Just coming to the back of this bodega. We got boosters.
Got something, right? Wow.
No,
So
Only
I-
Pfizer, right? Only Pfizer.
only Pfizer goes in this body.
Yeah.
I'm
They might-
Pfizer down.
So I assume if we host the expo there, then the students will have to be vaccinated, right? To attend.
Correct. And they would have to show proof of vaccination, their vaccination card, or some kind of app, as well as like their ID to match their vaccine card.
Oh, wow.
So that's just so that you'll know
Yeah.
that's how it's rolling, I guess, for right now. Anything could happen between by the time it unfolds, but for right now, and then we have a new mayor coming up. So I don't know, so this is like for right now.
That's definitely going to have an impact on attendance, because I don't know about the other educator in the room, but I know for us, vaccination is not assumed for our students. Most of them are not.
Mm.
So
So-
we might look at something else, but just to let you know.
We should look at something else. Good. We don't want to exclude people. I don't know. That's a philosophical question, but I think there's also a reality of if we want to reach students who need jobs and opportunities, then we should look to host it somewhere else. And so
Let's
who do we
see if
go
our
to?
partners down at the other school, I can't remember their name, the guy whose birthday was this past weekend.
Jawara school. There's Talisia's school. There's PS40, Mia. Is that right? Is that the school that is also in the district?
40?
Not 40, 40 is in the city.
40.
And
That's
then
in-
there's Medgar Evers. Medgar Evers where we used to do it.
Right,
Medgar
but I
Evers
think they may,
charges.
yeah, but I think they have a vaccination requirement for their students, so I'm not sure.
Hmm.
I don't know, Primo, maybe you should create like a Google Doc, like something bare bones, so that we can start putting together, of course, the proposal that has to be presented to the board, but just have people be able to plug in location ideas and, start assigning tasks and just have, because like you said, it's downtime between meetings, but you can always be checking into the doc, updating, dropping ideas, looking for comments, and just checking in between meetings while creating this document that you're going to need to move forward anyway with the board.
I'm
Yeah.
just gonna throw it out there because it just crossed my mind. Like maybe a church space, because I'm not sure how churches are handling like the vaccine mandate. I'm not sure if there's one. But maybe there's like a big church hall that we could use for something like this.
First Baptist possibly, because upstairs they have that big hall, that big room where they have the college fair.
Oh, yeah, you're right about that.
So I don't know about their situation, but I know my church, they just started last Sunday. You got to have your little vaccination card. So,
All right, guys, sorry, I'm really late, but just what are we discussing? What are we looking for space for?
We're talking about the jobs expo, which we would be looking. It's it's kind of like bring together a bunch of employers. They table for students. Ideally we'll have a few hundred students come throughout the course of the day. We would be looking to do this in late January, early February, and it would be probably one of 2 events that we would host throughout the course of the year, but it would be our first one. Pierre has a hand up.
So I'm sorry, I have to drop off. But I want to know, is there a way I can share my email with you, who's the chair, or just to stay in the loop and be a part of the Google Doc?
Yes, absolutely. You can drop your email in the chat, and I will. You know what? I'll do you one better. I'll drop my email in the chat. Oh, there is no chat.
Yeah, that's why.
Right, yeah, so there was a decision made that the chat would be disabled for meetings. But if everyone wants to if Pierre, you can reach out, I'll send it to you.
Pierre, yeah, if you're comfortable sharing your email address.
Yeah,
you can.
it's fine. Albert Pierre2@gmail.com.
Albert Pierre.
Number 2@gmail.com.
gmail.com. I will send you an email right now, and you can confirm that you got it, and we can follow up later. It is traveling through the air as we speak.
Thank you. I'm sure I got it. And if I don't, then I'll reach out to the board office.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Take care. Pleasure having you here. Welcome. Okay, so some marching orders are that, all right, we got to create a new doc. We got to start collaborating around putting together the right space for the event and then doing outreach for it. And then we can all come together on Monday, November 8th. Mia will send an invite for that. And we will be meeting at 7 o'clock on second Mondays of the month moving forward. And that should work well for everybody. We have also with us Sol and Nicholas Almanor, who are joining us from last year. Sol, do you want to introduce yourself? Nicholas, do you want to introduce yourself? And then we'll.
Sure. Sorry, everybody. I'm just coming from after school, so I have oh, he's talking. All right, so I think we're both talking at the same time.
Yeah, I think you're both going at the same. Sorry.
So it's a pleasure to be part of the committee, and then I'm still promoting something for next June. So I don't know what your schedule for events going to be yet, but we have time to come and talk about it.
Okay, sounds good, Nicholas. We'll definitely connect.
I'm planning, to start at the beginning of that meeting, so we can contribute some more and give some ideas. Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
Also, I'm a member at large and the chair of Park Recreation and Culture Committee. I'm thinking of different activities where the two committees can work together.
Nicholas, do you have the TV on? Because I can't barely hear you.
Okay, yeah. Well, he just muted himself. Sol, do you want to go for it?
Hi, everybody. I'm Sol. I have a nonprofit called Soul to Souls, where we do youth and young adult social emotional learning, career, college and career prep, leadership development, and we utilize film as a catalyst for creative and self-expression in our youth. So I'm happy to be back this year. I wasn't sure, Primo, am I like officially a part of you guys now, or like what's going on? I wasn't sure.
You're officially a committee member.
Yay.
Welcome to the committee. You joined us like halfway through the year last year. I think you had just heard about it and popped into some meetings, but you were a great presence. And I was telling everybody how much we enjoyed your Juneteenth event as well.
Yes.
So welcome to our subcommittee. And then Jennifer Allen, if you'd like to introduce yourself, we haven't had the chance to hear from you yet.
Oh, yeah. Hi, I'm Jennifer Allen. I live right on Westbury Court. I am the parent of two children. My son, Jamal, he used to be in a parent committee when he was in high school, when Amy was a part of it. So I've always been, like in the background, but now I wanted to really be a part of the, the forefront and help with the decision making and try to help improve our community.
Fantastic.
I'm also an educator for early childhood in the city. So, I have a lot of exciting experiences that I can share also with my daughter is great at basketball. She can always coach like a little basketball. She's 16 in high school. She can always be like a little coach also.
That's amazing. What high school does your daughter go to?
She goes to Uncommon Collegiate. It's in Bed-Stuy.
Cool. Yes, I know it well. And what school do you teach at in the city?
Well, I'm not, sorry, that's my little guard door. I'm no longer in the classroom. Now I'm the director of, it's called Jack and Jill School on East 16th Street. We're in Gramercy Park, oblique opposite Friends Seminary. And it's been around for 72 years, and it's a really great preschool. And we're really proud of our school.
That's amazing. I used to work at the Washington Irving building.
Oh,
just around
nice. Yeah, yeah, it's right up the block.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, welcome, and it's a pleasure to have you. And I want to make sure that we have everybody's email. Jennifer, it looks like we have your email. Joyce, it looks like we have your email. Of course, I think everybody else, Sol, you all were on the initial email, and now we should have, now I have Pierre stuck in my head, but that's not his name. Yeah, it is. We
Albert.
have, sorry, what?
Is it Albert Pierre?
Albert. Yes, we have his email. His last name is Pierre. So I think that this is going to be a fantastic group moving forward. A lot of work to do, but it's going to be lots of fun. And I can't wait to hear everybody's voices and bring all of your special talents and experiences to the table. I think we're going to have a fantastic year. I think that this is a really important year for our youth to be recovering. I think that anybody who works in education or anybody who lives in the world knows that there has been a lot of loss associated. It was not only a health pandemic that we both experienced and continue to experience, but it was felt in education, it was felt in healthcare, it was felt in every single institution and structure throughout this country, and it's been especially felt in communities of color. And so I'm really excited to, and food, right? Joyce, I'm sure that you experienced it as well. So really excited to work together. I think that there probably couldn't be a more important year for us to be doing this work. And, the community board supports this subcommittee. If y'all are not familiar with Community Board 9 and how it functions, I think that there's probably a little bit of information that's worth giving. Mia, cover your ears. No, I'm not going to talk bad about Community Board 9, but I will say that honestly, it is a large bureaucratic structure with like 50 something members, constantly trying to get a lot of things done. There's a lot of, kind of differing attitudes, but I think that everyone comes together around high functioning committees. And I think that this Youth Services Committee is recognized as one of the higher functioning committees across the community board. And so I think that the community board is willing to devote resources in this direction. We just need to know when to ask for them and how to ask for them. And so think about, money.
Now we need to ask for the money now.
Well, we need to ask for the money now. There's probably not that much money, but we'll get it. And also last year, people donated hundreds of dollars to this committee so that we could, buy gift cards and have raffle prizes for our students. And I think there's a lot we're going to do. I think it's about managing, having a grand vision and trying to execute on, 2 or 3 potentially really strong events throughout the course of the year, which I'm sure that this group can do. And so I want to just say thank you. It's 8:04, giving me an hour of your time. I'm thrilled to be working with each of you. So grateful for the new members, so grateful for the returning members. And if you have any questions, I'll hang around for a few minutes. You can feel free to keep chatting with me, but I'll send you on your way and I'll send a follow-up email to everybody after this meeting, probably tomorrow morning.
Excellent. I did have a question, so I'll hang out for a second.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Everybody else, thank you for your time. Talicia, I owe you an email, or you can just call me and we can have a conversation, which is probably honestly the easier way to do things. Do you have my number?
I don't think I do.
Okay, I'll give you my number.
Yeah.
I guess I'll give everybody my number. It's 917 826 2031. Valerie has my number. She'll be texting me.
That was our secret.
Everybody else, I mean, if you guys all want to have a conversation, feel free to hang out. If you got to go about your life and have your dinner and all that stuff, you are more than free to go. But Sol, you want to kick us off? Go for it.
I just had a question in terms of, I was wondering what's the major difference and how come the education committee and youth committee is like separate, or like what's the, you know what I mean? Like it feel like there's overlaps. I just was kind of curious on that.
I'm sure Matthias has some insight, and I'll give the simple answer, which is age groups. We serve students who are like 16 to 24 or whatever, and they serve the younger age groups below 16.
Okay.
But there's a little more nuance there. Matthias, you want to add?
Sure. So there used to be a combined committee, at least in meetings. That kind of ended up with, so you have one meeting, you have two chairs, because they are, according to, I guess, community board, the charter of community boards, they're supposed to be separate committees, but they do have a lot of overlap. So we at some point decided to split them up. Some community boards have them joined, some don't. I do think, to Primo's point, that they serve slightly different purposes, different age groups. So that's basically it. But it's up to the community board to decide what to do with that.
Yeah, I was just like kind of curious, about that, because, I wanted to be involved, but I wasn't quite sure like what the different, you know what I mean? Like what the differences were.
But you should definitely check out the education committee. They have meetings.
Yeah, I'm gonna do both, but I was just like, okay, I didn't, understand what the differences were. So that's all I wanted to know. But thank you. I'm excited to be a part of the committee and be of service for you guys this year.
Perfect. Yeah. The education committee, I think, was a little defunct for a few years, but last year really got it together under the guidance of their new chair, the Trailblazers executive director. What's his name again, Matthias?
Yeah, I think he stepped down.
Real Spielberg.
Yeah, he's no longer chair. I don't know who's the chair right now. Mia might know.
Mia, who's the chair?
I believe Melanie Lewis just accepted the post.
Melanie Lewis is great. So
yeah, she's a great,
yeah,
wonderful choice.
It's a wonderful choice. It is. She's super strong, and I'm sure it'll be great. They did a lot of book drives last year, if I recall. They did a lot of free book giveaways, which is cool, and we should collaborate on something in the future. But you can be our inside person for the education committee and the youth committee, and hopefully you can bridge us a little bit more if you're going to do both. That would be great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is
Other
it
questions?
Education committee?
Jennifer, sorry, what was that?
Too late to join the education committee?
I don't think it's too late to do anything. Mia, correct me if I'm wrong, but we live.
Not at all. Always the login credentials are always posted in our calendar on our website. So feel free to pop into anything. I think that all of the chairs appreciate a community voice with input, is willing to assist.
Yeah, I mean, Jennifer, if you're going to join the education committee, you just can't leave the youth services committee.
No, I'm not. Because you're definitely the demographic for my children. So I want to make sure that I'm representing them as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you have the time, you could do both.
Yeah, I'll try to do both.
Fantastic. Great. If anybody
So
has
good
any-
night, everybody.
Good night, Soul.
Okay, bye.
Good night, everyone.
I call you Primo.
Okay. Yeah.
Have a good night, everyone.
Take
Look
care,
forward
everyone.
to seeing you next month.
Bye, y'all.
Next month, second Monday, right?
Yes,
That's right, November 8th.
November 8th.
The day
See you
before my
then, guys.
birthday.
Okay, thank you. Good night.